So the other thing to keep in mind with snakes and the venom is what do you do? What do you do if you accidentally end up with somebody that gets bit? It very rarely happens. It is not something that is like, especially here in Kentucky, like an everyday concern. There are parts of America where it's much more concerning, much more something you have to be careful of, but especially here in Louisville, we don't have the interaction with snakes that often. But if you do have a snake bite, the thing to consider, and it's a bite by a snake that you know or suspect to be venomous, the thing to consider is how venom travels. A lot of people watch old movies or hear stories or that if a snake bites you or bites somebody, you're supposed to suck the venom out. You absolutely do not do that. It's not helpful in any way, shape, or form. Venom is going to travel just like if you were going to give somebody a shot at the doctor. So it's going directly into their bloodstream, and you trying to suck it out is going to be completely pointless. It's not going to do anything. The best thing that you can do is remember that most snake bites are going to occur on those extremities, particularly on feet and ankles. So the best thing to do is to actually keep those areas from reaching the heart. So what you want to do is keep them down. So you want them not to be elevated to where they're going to start traveling towards the heart. You want to keep them down so that the venom is not going as quickly towards the heart. The second thing, obviously, and maybe the first thing, is you want to call 911. You want to move the person, obviously, away from the venomous snake if you can do that safely. Typically, if a snake bites, they are going to get out of there as quickly as possible, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. You don't want to wrap the wound tightly or do any of these types of things. You really are just going to kind of want to move them away from the area, keep them comfortable, keep them with their extremities down and away from their heart. With that being said, and it being very unlikely, snakes get a bad rap because of that. And a lot of people and a lot of cultures are very fearful of snakes. Snakes are such a beneficial animal to our environment. They control populations of pests. They keep down the populations of rats, mice, voles, moles, things like that people don't really want to be cohabiting with. Also, like a lot of insects, they keep down the populations of them. They are an animal that is considered to be a balancer in the food web, meaning that they are both predator and prey. So even though snakes do have all these predator defenses, that doesn't keep them from being eaten. Birds in particular, especially bigger, like raptor types of birds, feed off snakes a lot. And there are even other species of snakes that have adapted to eat snakes. The king snake in particular eats rattlesnakes. So snakes are often a very good indicator, along with amphibians, of the health of an environment. So snakes and amphibians, they are very susceptible to changes in their habitats. They don't evolve well to really drastic changes. So things like destruction of their habitats or chemical pollution of their habitats tend to cause a chain that really affects them drastically. Naturalists and biologists often look to these smaller animals as signs of something happening that they can't physically see. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife actually do counts every year. So they will go out and like flip over rocks and flip over like metal sheeting that's like laying out in yards or forest, and check and do like counts to see. And that obviously they're not counting every single snake, but that gives them an idea of like the number of snakes that are sort of making that area home. And if they see a huge decline in the number of snakes year to year, that's a big sign that something is up, something is not right. And obviously if they see a boom in the population of snakes, that can be a sign that things are going really well. It can also be a sign of something else that's going wrong down the food chain. So maybe there's some reason why there's this like huge boom in these smaller animals that they prey off of, like maybe some other animal is missing out of the food chain. So we've talked a lot about how animals, sort of all animals, there's this very symbiotic relationship with the environment and with one another, and how when you remove some one thing from the environment, it affects, and it's this trickle down thing. And so snakes are used as a major indicator of that. So for your assignment, for your work for the rest of this time, and for next week, what you will be doing is I would like for you to choose a snake that makes its home here in Kentucky, is the native species to Kentucky, and do some research on it. So I'm going to link down below some resources for you. One of those is a research paper, so it'll have all the questions that I want you to try to answer about the snake that you choose. And the other is the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife has a really great free PDF book that you can download that has all the snakes that are here in Kentucky and all about them. So that will be a good place for you to go to choose if you're choosing one of the many species of snakes that I didn't have time to go over individually. There's so many cool ones to choose from. Kirkland snake, hogsnose snake, some things like that you might choose that are beneficial and harmless snakes. So you can use that, go through, find a snake that you find really interesting, and then do some further research on it, and use your research paper. Once you've done your research, what I would like for you to do is to write at least 1-page paper on your snake and answer all those questions in it. So that's what you're going to use your research paper for. And then hopefully I will see you guys in person here in a few weeks, hopefully, and we will be able to continue on with our projects on this. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon. And if you have any questions or you have any cool facts that you want to share or anything like that, you can just leave a little message down there and below, and I will keep up with it. I will check it. You can also, of course, email me, or your parents can email me any questions that you might have. And I will promise to get back to you on those. So have a great day, guys, and enjoy your snake research. Remember, I'm going to link to those two documents right down below this video.